Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com. One of the questions that I get asked the most is, which is the Venezuelan version of Medellin? Or there will be the next Medellin in Venezuela? Today, I'm gonna try to answer that question, so let's start. Medellin, the city of the eternal spring, has a lot going on the favor. It is right now probably the international capital of Colombia, leaving behind even the success of cities like Bogota, of course the actual capital of Colombia, and Cartagena, that actually was built in order to be the international hub of Colombia for expats, internationals, and worldwide visitors. Medellin, that of course has a nice weather. The phrase, the city of the eternal spring, it is more than just words. Pleasant weather, beautiful landscape, very reasonable cost of living still, great food, great infrastructure, great amenities, beautiful women over there, the Paisa women among the most beautiful women all over the world. So Medellin has become one of the major international hubs, not only in Latin America, but all over the world. And the thing is, Medellin recently has become a victim of its own success. So today we are going to discuss what are also the downsides of Medellin as well. Well, sadly, since Medellin has become a really hot place on the international sphere, it's been overcrowded by internationals and also has left behind the original Colombian experience that such internationals had to experience just before this boom that happened on the city in Antioquia the past few years. Also, the cost of living is rising pretty rapidly. Major areas of the city like El Poblado, Envigado, or Laureles have becoming increasingly more expensive on the past few years, and it's kind of an anti-American and anti-European and anti-international sentiment amongst the local population on the past few years. Of course, it's not a deal breaker at the moment. Still very nice people, that is very hardworking, very salt of the air, and very welcoming to internationals. However, the trend right now, it's a little bit downward towards being not the place that used to be just a few years ago. Now the question is, there is such city in Venezuela that emulates entirely all the great experiences that you find on Medellin? And the answer is sadly no.
Guys, you're still trying to replace Giambi. I told you we can't do it. We can't do it. Now, what we might be able to do is recreate him. Recreate him in the aggregate.
It doesn't exist such city that perfectly emulates all the amenities of Medellin. However, we can recreate it on the aggregate, because Venezuela probably is the closest on the grand scheme of things. Venezuela is the country that resembles the most to Colombia, and of course is the country outside of Colombia that you are going to find the closest experience to a Medellin, to a Paisa experience. Today we are going to talk how to recreate on the aggregate the Medellin experience here in Venezuela. First, let's start about the good things about Medellin that you would like to recreate here in Venezuela. And let's start by the eternal spring, the weather. Venezuela on most cities has a very warm weather. However, Venezuela is very diverse regarding climate conditions, and the Medellin, the eternal spring weather, actually does exist in a handful of cities. For instance, Caracas is the closest where you are going to find a city with a similar climate compared to Medellin, that is not too hot, not too warm, pleasant, nice breeze, some rainfall, and also a city where it's pleasant to be around. Every piece of your wardrobe is an option, but we also have cities like Merida that is actually colder than Medellin, but still very pleasant indeed. Also, we have cities like Los Teques that is actually very close to Caracas, and surrounding on the Caracas metro area, you find places like Galipan and Colonia Tovar that also you can find a similar weather experience compared to Medellin. Now, the second thing that Medellin has going on is their development. Medellin is a very well-developed city for Latin American standards. In Venezuela, we have a similar development on a handful of cities as well. Let's start by Caracas, that actually has some development. Of course, it's the capital of the country, and probably you're not gonna find the Medellin-like development, but still it has a lot of development. It has, of course, high-rising towers and buildings and new constructions, and of course the roads. We also have these cable cars that you see on Medellin. Caracas has it as well. Also has a big cable car to El Ávila, the main pier on the Caracas area, especially the main landmark of the city. But also you can find historic constructions, historic buildings, the colonial Spanish architecture, and so on and so on. So regarding development, Caracas is actually fits the bill pretty good. Regarding having the same kind of development that Medellin has, and is being applauded on the past 10 years or so. But you don't have to limit yourself to Caracas regarding development here in Venezuela. We can also quote cities like Valencia, Barquisimeto, and my hometown Lecheria. Of course, Lecheria, believe me, if you're looking for the Medellin experience, you are not gonna find it. Now let's go with the landscape. Medellin, say it again, beautiful landscape. But in Venezuela, we have a bunch of cities and bunch of places with beautiful landscape. Let's start yet again with Caracas, and also I have to throw Merida, beautiful landscape. Medellin like landscapes, yes indeed, even in some cases can be quite beautiful and even way more beautiful than Medellin. Of course, this is not a competition, I'll leave that to you decide to explore it. But also we have on Valencia, beautiful nature that is mixed pretty well with a city development. Now let's talk about cost of living. Medellin has it's not a cheap place, but still has a great ROI regarding cost of living. Not the cheapest place, but you get a lot of bang for your buck. Here in Venezuela, we have a pretty congruent cost of living on major cities, starting yet again on Caracas, but also Valencia, who has a very decent cost of living for what it's worth, or for what the city offers to you, the expat, the international. And of course, we have Merida that has an even cheaper cost of living. And after that, well, yeah, I can talk about cities that doesn't have any resemblance with Medellin, but still have a pretty congruent cost of living as well. And lastly, we have to talk about the dating. The dating scene in any major Venezuelan city is pretty much you're gonna be fine on that regard. I'm just gonna limit it to that. Of course, Caracas, since it's the capital of the country and the most populated city, of course, attracts the best talent. So if you're looking for a Medellin-like quality dating experience, and in Caracas, believe me, Medellin has nothing on Caracas regarding dating, and also many other cities have great dating experiences like Maracay, like Valencia, like Merida also has a great dating scene, and I can basically just mention like 20 other Venezuelan cities that has great dating experiences that you won't miss the Medellin dating scene on that regard. So, do you love Medellin? Is your favorite city in Colombia? Have you ever been in Medellin, or you're already living in Medellin? Please leave it on the comments below. I want to read your takes on probably one of the most beautiful cities in Latin America. Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.